Tonight, along with Phil Parsons and six-time Texas truck winner Todd Bodine, I'm Vince Welch. Going to be fun tonight. We've already given you some of the driver storylines. Haven't even talked about the top two guys in points. We'll do that a little bit later as well. But one of the big topics of conversation here, Todd, is that track reconfiguration. Man, it's been a big story.
It's definitely a story. We may be at Texas Motor Speedway, but this is not the same racetrack. They along with the repave, they added 20 feet to the bottom groove of this racetrack. And what that has done, it has totally changed the line that these trucks race around the track. The entrance and exits of the corner are a lot flatter, which makes it even harder to get in and out of these corners. You get loose getting in the corner, and the truck wants to push off the corner. And it's really created a big problem for these guys, especially turns 1 and 2 that we're looking at here. That's the problem in 3 and 4. They say it drives just like it used to. So it's a whole different racetrack than they've ever seen before. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Track position, always important. Now we've seen with the stage racing, Phil, a lot of different strategies to get that track position. How's it go tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be similar to what we saw last week. We saw Johnny Sauter come to pit road on lap 119. That's with 81 laps to go. You see him restart this race mired back in traffic. Well, he stayed on the racetrack. Everybody else in front of him came to pit road, and he led the last 30 or 40 laps untouched by even guys with 50 laps less on his their tires than he did. So Johnny Sauter played it perfectly, and I think we're going to see that again too, because they talk about track position, hard to pass here. Every racetrack that we go to now, it seems like the stage racing has played into it, because Rudy Fugle told us this morning, he said, I've spent all winter long planning on how I was going to race stage racing, and now I've got to change. I've got to change because Johnny Sauter was getting more points than we were, and we were finishing better.
I like it that way. Make it harder on these guys. That makes it more fun for us watching. We're about ready to get started. Let's go downstairs for opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise and remove your hats as the Grapevine Police Department Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Brett Schizler of Texas Alliance Raceway Ministries offers tonight's invocation.
Would you please pray with me? Most loving and gracious God, as we come here tonight, we thank you. We thank you for this beautiful evening and this chance to be together tonight. As we come to you tonight, Lord, we thank you and we ask for your safety. We ask that you be with each and every one of the drivers, with all of the crews, with all of the fans, and with our world. As we come to you tonight, we just simply ask that you would guide us in our ways. It's in the strong and beautiful name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Here to honor America with the singing of our national anthem from the Grapevine Police Department, please welcome Senior Officer William Lane. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
What a great way to get us started. Drivers are ready to roll. One of the fastest tracks in the circuit. It's Texas next. It's fast. It's Texas.
Drivers, start your engines.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including Big Hoss, the world's largest high-definition video board. We are getting ready to go racing from Texas Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. No track has hosted more Truck Series races than Texas. Looking forward to another good one tonight, along with Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons. I'm Vince Welch. Our pit reporters are Alan Cavana and Hermie Sadler. Good evening, Hermie.
Good evening, Vince. You know, Timothy Peters, prior to Dover, had started 193 consecutive races in the Camping World Truck Series, 184 of those for Red Horse Racing. But when that team declined to field a truck at Dover, Timothy was out of a ride. Well, he's back tonight in the 99 MDM Motorsports truck. He's reunited with his crew chief, Shane Huffman. So tonight, as he straps in the first of a two-race deal, Timothy is uncertain of his future, but certain he belongs in the Camping World Truck Series. Alan?
Hermie, Matt Crafton has 11 straight top 10s at this racetrack, Texas Motor Speedway. By the numbers, this is his racetrack. But that was the old Texas before they changed Turn 1, before they changed Turn 2, and before they repaved the whole thing. You ask Matt Crafton, this used to have, this track, a whole lot of good, he says. He's not so confident after these changes, but if there are any worries, they didn't come out in qualifying. Matt Crafton starts third tonight.
Hey, he's
Vince?
got a couple of wins under his belt here at Texas as well. Phil, how about Christopher Bell? He'd been on the pole for the previous 3.5 miles, but he had a problem today. What happened?
I think he forgot to take the breather off the cowl opening for his truck, and that probably cost him 100 horsepower for qualifying.
It's going to be a big story. We'll keep following it tonight.
No Limits Texas, this is what we are here for. Give me the command. Please welcome tonight's Grand Marshal, Entertainment Manager for WinStar World Casino and Resort, Stephanie Calloway.
Drivers, start your engines.
This will go up.
Going to be on cap saving mode this entire day.
It's race number 7 of the season. Getting ready to roll from Texas Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Trucks just starting to roll for their pace laps here at Texas Motor Speedway, getting ready to go truck racing. 5 different winners in 6 races already. A lot of candidates to add their name to that list tonight. We talked a little bit about the track reconfiguration earlier. Todd, how about this Camping World track description?
The all-new Texas Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles, still 1.5 miles, but the turns went from 24, or 1 and 2 went from 24 degrees to 20 degrees, 3 and 4 still 24 degrees, but it's a whole different racetrack and it drives totally different.
Take a look at our Camping World track race analysis. You see this race is 167 laps. One of the longest races we have all year long. You see the stages will end at lap 40, lap 80, and at the end of the race at lap 167. You talked about how big the stage racing has played into this, and we're going to see the same thing tonight. William Byron won here as an 18-year-old last year.
Starting lineups tonight, Noah Gregson will start from the pole, the 18-year-old from Las Vegas, his first career pole, and Johnny Sauter, who won last week at Dover.
He's not very hot, right? 5 races in a row with top 3 finishes for Johnny Sauter.
Grant Enfinger and Kaz Grala in row 3. Ben Rhodes, John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, Austin Cindric coming off a top 5 last week.
Chase Briscoe's had some good runs for Brad Keselowski Racing. There's Timothy Peters, who Hermie spoke of earlier. Travis Kvapil in the 66 this week.
Yeah, good qualifying effort for Travis. I talked to him early. Really excited about being in that 66 truck here.
Saw Stuart Friesen had to go to a backup after some contact in practice. And Christopher Bell back in row 11.
That's the Bell row. TJ also there. No relation, by the way.
Starting 21st for Bell, by the way, and a Texas winner starting deepest in the field. 21st wouldn't be the record because the man standing next to you, Todd Bodine, started 22nd back in 2004 and stormed to the front to win.
We caught a little bit of heat when you talked about him in the setup show, this being his house. Brendan Gaughan was not too happy about that. He won 4 in a row here.
I don't think I can argue with that. Let's go back downstairs and check in with our pit reporters one more time.
Vince, crew chief Buddy Cisco is filling in for suspended Mike Hillman Jr. A lot of this will come down to pit strategy, tire strategy. How much are you already thinking about that tonight?
We've got a plan. We worked on it all week long. The left side tires are holding up really well. There'll be a lot of right side stops. And then there's always the inevitable fuel mileage on the last segment. So got a really good engineering staff at BKR, and they've got all that worked out. They'll just tell me when to stop, and I'll make that call, relay it over to the driver, get it to pit road, we'll put some fuel in it, and it'll all work out good.
Hopefully an easy job filling in for Buddy Cisco. Hermie?
Well, Rudy Fugel is the crew chief for Christopher Bell. Your driver is used to qualifying and starting up front. So starting 21st, what would be the biggest challenge he'll have to face trying to make his way to the front?
Yeah, we just got to survive. We as a crew made a mistake in qualifying. We left the cowl cover on. We're paying the price starting 21st. Best team in the business, best driver in the business. We're just going to go be smart, take care of our truck, and let the 167 laps play out and see what happens.
Vince?
Todd, any engine concerns after leaving that cowl on during qualifying?
Well, I tell you, Vince, when we saw that happen in qualifying, I had concerns because when you don't put the air through that motor, the fuel mixture, it burns a lot hotter. And it's very easy to burn pistons and break a piston. So I would have a little bit of concern starting this race. And if I was Christopher, I'd have to watch those temps close.
Certainly something we'll keep an eye on as we take a look at our onboard cameras.
Well, we're just going to ride along and watch with him here. He's in the GBL Toyota. He's starting, as you mentioned, from the 21st spot. So good this year. All top 10 finishes going into last week at Dover. When he cut a tire down, had a problem.
Starting 14th, great to have him back at the racetrack. Timothy Peters in the Metabo Chevy. He really liked his truck in race runs. He knew it wasn't going to qualify that fast, but he thinks he's got a truck that he can drive to the front.
We're going to also ride along on the Ford onboard of Chase Briscoe. That's the Cooper Standard Ford from Brad Keselowski. We just heard from his acting crew chief a few minutes ago, Buddy Cisco. That truck will be fast. He starts from the 12th spot.
Starting third, this guy loves this racetrack, but it's the old racetrack. Matt Crafton in the Menards Toyota, he doesn't know what to expect. He's got a good truck starting third. Maybe he can keep it up there.
Well, half the track's the old track, isn't it?
Well, it's the same place the old track was at.
Crafton was passed for the final lead change both races last year, so you know he's got to feel like he's got a little score to settle here tonight. As you see, this is the 39th time we've raced here at Texas, and we touched on it earlier, the worst starting position of a winner, 22nd, and that was our pal Todd Bodine in the booth with us tonight. Christopher Bell, almost that deep. He starts 21st this evening. Remember, Bell already a winner once this season. And his teammate, Noah Gragson, on pole from the inside. He has never led a lap in his Young Truck Series career. Let's see if he can do it on lap number 1 tonight. We're racing in Texas. That's the spot where it really flattens out coming off turn 2. Who can get drive off turn 2 is going to be a big story in the success tonight, right?
We saw the 33 of Kaz Grala get a little bit wide over there in 1 and 2, lost several positions. There hasn't been a lot of side-by-side racing throughout our practice sessions.
Here's Gragson bringing it around. He's going to lead his first ever lap in the Truck Series.
Whoa! Was that John Hunter Nemechek?
Hunter.
No, I'm sorry. That was Justin Haley, the 24 truck, also a black truck. Look at Kaz Grala again going too wide there. There's no grip up there, Todd.
There's no rubber. There's no grip. The track has not been broken in. This is what we were worried about. When these guys try to run too wide, what's going to happen to that outside guy?
Keep an eye on Christopher Bell. You saw him there momentarily in that Ford truck. There's Kaz Grala in the 33 on that outside lane. Well, a pack of racers right there.
Yeah, and everybody fighting for the inside of the racetrack right along in that Ford onboard of Chase Briscoe. You see him. He's up in the second lane, jumps right back down in behind Austin Wayne Self. Look at
the 19.
The 19 of Austin Cindric is up into the outside wall.
And the caution is out, and that's Austin Cindric coming off that career best 5th place finish last week. Right side damage. Was running 8th at the time.
I think nobody really ventured up there in practice, and I think these guys couldn't believe how little grip there was up there. Let's see what happens to Austin. He's probably going to get a little bit loose and actually chase it up the hill. And there's no grip up there. You see the back end of that truck. He does a nice job not letting it spin around, but he just ran out of room, Todd.
And that wasn't caused by the being in the second groove by any means. He just got loose at the bottom and had to chase it up where there is absolutely no grip.
How about taking a look at it from the view of Timothy Peters?
See, Austin's up there leading that pack, just gets a little bit loose.
Fortunately, didn't collect the others that were all running right there in that pack of about 8th through 12th. You get a little bit of a look at that right front damage of that 19 truck of Austin Cindric. Here's his teammate Chase Briscoe. Briscoe had a moment as well. Check this out.
This is why we saw, I think, maybe Justin Haley get sideways. A little bit of contact right there. You see Justin get sideways right in between Briscoe in the 29 and Kaz Grala in the 33. See, Chase right now is the bottom of 3 wide. They just run out of room there, Todd.
Yeah. Kaz had them all pinched down pretty hard right at the tri-oval, and you can't do that.
An early yellow. Austin Cindric brings it out. Getting ready to go back racing after an early caution here at Texas. Let's check in with Hermie Sadler on the 33 truck. Hermie?
Vince, we saw Kaz Grala come off turn 4 down the front straightaway, not give his teammate very much room. The crew chief is Jerry Baxter. They're working with a new spotter tonight, Mark Gregory, who does some work for Ganassi, and Jerry has told Kaz Grala, you have to react quicker when the spotter gives you instructions, but part of working in a new spotter at this standalone event.
Yeah, with this being a standalone and many of the, of course, the teams, Xfinity and Cup Series teams in Pocono, a lot of these teams working with new spotters and new pit crew personnel tonight. As we get ready to go back racing, Kaz Grala back there looking to make some moves, but it's Noah Gragson leading the way.
There's so much experience on his outside right now with Matt Crafton. He can go through 1 and 2 on the outside at a little bit of a reduced speed after a restart. Oh, we got a trouble already. Another truck around.
And that's the one of Jordan Anderson. Again, the caution is out. Didn't even get a lap completed. Anderson back there in that 16th spot prior to the spin.
I'm going to say there's a little contact there because, like Phil said, coming up to speed, you don't have all your speed through that corner. So the outside groove is not going to be that difficult on restarts.
Hate to see that for Jordan. Goes through so much each week just to get to the track and then to have an issue here early. Let's see if we
maybe
can...
not the third lane.
The third lane is tough.
Yeah.
That might have been too much speed for the third lane. The second lane, he could have been okay. But
the second lane was occupied, though.
Well, that's true. Good point. He was on the outside of 3 wide here. And that's a great view of it. Just absolutely no grip out there above at least the second lane, and probably minimal grip in the second lane once they're up to speed.
When they did this repave also, Phil, the third groove actually has less banking than the bottom groove and the second groove. So it flattens out, which compounds the issue of not having rubber on a track, not having it broke in. So it's going to be tough if anybody wants to get out there.
Back to the 33 of Kaz Grala and what Jerry Baxter, the crew chief for Grala, was talking about from that report that Hermie had just a moment ago.
See, right now he's on the outside and doesn't realize probably that they're 3 wide. And he had a little bit more room, Todd. He could have moved to the outside. When he got to the start-finish line, he was out against the outside wall.
That's one thing that these young guys have got to learn. Of course, Kaz doesn't have a lot of mile-and-a-half experience. And
he's only 18 years old.
18, so, you know, you have to realize your position on the racetrack, your position to the other trucks. And as a driver, you have to understand how much room you have to give, where you are on the racetrack.
How difficult is it to be working with a different spotter this early in your career, or even maybe for some of the veterans, but particularly for these young guys, because we got a lot of them?
It's really difficult because when you get that relationship with spotters, you understand his language. He talks to you a certain way. When he inflects a word a certain way, you just get that relationship. And when you have somebody different, every week or every other week. It's hard to get that relationship and that continuity.
A lot of challenges for these drivers tonight here at Texas. Under yellow for the second time tonight. We'll go back green when we come back to Texas. Good look at Timothy Peters in the 99 truck this week. Back here at Texas under caution, getting ready to go back green. Christopher Bell, remember we told you at the beginning, had that issue in qualifying. Three-time pole winner already this season. Started 21st tonight. And we've only had, 4 green flag laps, and he's already up to 12.
Yeah, he would have easily been in the top 10, inside of 10 laps if we hadn't had these 2 cautions.
There's a good look inside that truck of Bell, and what? Be interesting to see how long it takes him to get inside the top 5. Not going to take him long to get to the top 10. They get a little tougher once you get 10 through 5th.
They do. He has some really good trucks in front of him. He has Chase Briscoe, Austin Wayne Self right now, the 2 trucks in front of him in position-wise.
Well, Noah Gragson was our pole winner, and he'll start on the outside this time with Matt Crafton, the control vehicle inside. Back underway, racing in Texas. Crafton jumping to the point. Gragson kind of caught out there on that outside line as Ryan Truex moves into second.
Ooh, a big moment for Ben Rhodes in the 27 truck, and it really has the field stacked up.
Here comes Christopher Bell on the outside, grabbing spots as you see Rhodes recover, try to gather it up.
He's going high again, he's going to lose a bunch more spots.
Just no grip up there. Look at Ben Rhodes kicking up the dust.
What possibly could happen is when these trucks get these tires hot and then they go to caution speed, as we watch Matt Crafton and Noah Gragson battle for the lead, Gragson trying to get to the inside. They pick up a lot of debris. That may have been what happened to Ben Rhodes.
Got this picture, Noah Gragson, 18 years old, a rookie, and Matt Crafton, series champion in the past, and he has won on the 1.5 miles in dominating fashion throughout his course of his career, but he can't hold back the kid, Gragson, to the point once again.
That was a great pass by Noah. He set Matt up going into the corner. He lifted early, got back to the throttle quicker than Matt, drove up under him off the corner.
That 27 truck of Ben Rhodes now headed to pit road. Rhodes restarted 5th, got up in that 3rd groove, up alongside the wall and bringing it to pit road. Going to go to work on it.
Ben Rhodes in. They don't know exactly what's wrong. They're still figuring out 2 or 4 tires. They're going to go with 2 right side and go from there to figure out what exactly happened, trying to diagnose the problems on the 27. Vince?
No, Rhodes has really been running well in the early stage of this season, so a tough blow for that team.
See, Johnny Sauter took over the 3rd spot from the 16 of Ryan Truex, and here comes Christopher Bell already up to the 4th spot.
Remember, Bell had the fastest laps in each of the 3 practices yesterday before that qualifying issue that he had today forced him to start 21st, and he has taken it to the front.
We talk about the fact that he had to pole for all 3.5 miles we've had thus far. It had a great shot to do it again here, but the mistake by his crew cost him an opportunity to do that, but he's going to try to show him right now that he's got a pretty good truck.
He's got a great truck. We see the in-truck camera here, and he's pulling up on Johnny off the corner, and that's how you're going to make passes here at Texas tonight. You've got to beat these guys back to the throttle and up off the corner.
Listen how much he's out of the throttle here. You hear he was out of the throttle, then playing with the throttle. We get down to the other end of the racetrack, and he could be wide open all the way through that corner.
Well, that particular corner, I think he was being real nice to Matt Crafton. He let up and lifted out of the throttle, let him in line.
Great view from Christopher Bell's perspective of Matt Crafton right in front of him. Coming up on some lap traffic there, the 19 of Cindric, who had that wall contact already tonight.
See, Johnny Sauter's been able to get by Matt Crafton and take over that 2nd spot.
Noah Gragson, Kyle Busch Motorsports rookie, leads with Johnny Sauter in that blue and white 21 in 2nd, and then Hermie, Matt Crafton is 3rd.
Yeah, Vince, do not be surprised if the Ford makes pretty quick work of Matt Crafton in the 88. He is shattering the front tires on both ends of the racetrack, but especially turns 1 and 2, so he's having to bag the corner up a little bit, slow down his entry to let the truck turn a little bit to keep it at the bottom. Expect some pretty severe adjustments on the 88 when they come to pit road.
Sauter for the lead inside.
Ooh, gets a
Noah
little bit
Gragson.
loose down there. I know this is a repaved job, but there's a few bumps down there, isn't there, Todd?
It's very rough on the bottom of that racetrack down there. And I was impressed with Noah. He kept his speed up on the outside.
Johnny Sauter, 3-time Texas winner, gets by Gragson. Gragson still holding on to that outside line as you see the view of Matt Crafton.
Noah did a nice job there, even being on the outside to stay down there with still some grip. So the truck dancing a little bit.
Bouncing through those bumps. You got to keep that thing free, and when it goes through the bumps, it gets it sideways.
What a great four-way battle here for the top spot. Having to go around a lap truck with Jennifer Jo Cobb. Matt Crafton's going to take this opportunity to get to the inside of Noah Gragson.
For second, Crafton. Gragson not giving it up, hanging on to the outside. And Christopher Bell lurking right there in fourth.
Ooh, Matt Crafton got hung in behind Norm Benning. You see the closure right that time by Christopher Bell and Matt Crafton when Matt had to back off.
Cost Crafton both positions as Gragson finished the pass and Bell went along with him.
When Noah's been caught on the outside, I was very impressed how well the truck stuck up there. We did not think that the outside was going to have that kind of grip right away.
We had the initial start of the race. We've had a couple restarts, so maybe they're putting a little bit of rubber down there, Todd.
Could very well be.
Maybe have a little bit more grip and widen out that groove down there, especially in 1 and 2.
It's 2 of the 3 KBM trucks running this weekend, the 18 of Gragson and the 4 of Bell, as Bell takes a look outside and then tucks back underneath. The 3rd truck in the KBM stable this weekend is the 51, and there's a good look at Myatt Snyder. Running his 2nd race of the season, opened the campaign with a 10th place finish at Daytona.
Getting some great experience on a 1.5 miles in that KBM truck. You can't get better at a 1.5 miles than KBM, and to be able to come to your first 1.5 miles in a good truck, that's always a great experience to get.
Johnny Sauter continues to lead, the 3rd different leader so far here in stage 1. Sauter won here last fall, led only 6 laps in that one. This next one coming by will be lap number 6 that he's been out front tonight.
I see heartbreak, disappointment, and tears.
Is it Kentucky Speedway?
Yes. You must stay away from turn 3.
No, not again.
You mustn't go into turn 3.
It's the toughest turn on the circuit. The best love it. Others fear it. Don't miss the Quaker State 400 presented by Advance Auto Parts, July 8th.
Hit the open road in style this summer with Camping World. For a limited time, choose from 4 of our best-selling travel trailers under 4,000 pounds for only $134 a month, including the Mallard M185, comfortable for the whole family. Or explore your outer limits in the Satellite 17RB. Plus, enjoy a Good Sam Elite membership with every RV purchase. It's our lowest prices of the year, and it's only at your local Camping World Supercenter and online at campingworld.com.
Want to know who's going to be the next big thing? These guys have an idea.
3 and 4 wide, waiting for position. NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel like Sunoco Green E15. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
Johnny Sauter continues to lead at Texas, but Christopher Bell knocking on the door. Bell started 21st and has driven up to challenge for the lead in just 29 laps. 7 of those under caution. Hasn't taken him long at all.
Johnny went a little wide for a moment, just about opened up the bottom for Christopher Bell. Look at that closure rate by Christopher Bell from the center and off.
Oh, how about that? Squeeze in between.
And to split the defense there, right?
Between Norm Benning in the 6 and that 19 truck, the wounded Ford of Austin Cindric.
The one thing I've seen out of Christopher on all of his passes is he is driving into the corner much easier than everybody else. And that's what's setting these passes up for him.
But we haven't talked about that 98 truck much, guys. How about Grant Enfinger? He was running 5th a few moments ago, grabbed that 4th spot from Noah Gragson, and now just all over the back of Matt Crafton.
10 laps to go in stage 1. Sauter still holding off Bell. You get the feeling Bell's got the faster truck, but getting around Sauter, not as easy as you might think.
We've seen a lot of passing, though. You know, all the crew chiefs talked about how difficult it is to pass, but we've seen a lot of passing so far.
Looks like Johnny's truck's just a little bit free on exit. You get that little wiggle going, can't quite hold it to the map.
These trucks so aero dependent as well.
Which makes what Christopher's doing even more impressive. He's staying right on the tailgate of Johnny, where that thing should be pushing up the racetrack. That just tells you how good a truck he's got right now.
And you can see him keep that left side tires down on the white line a little bit lower than Johnny. Get some of that air pushing down on the front of that truck. Keeps it from pushing.
Remember, 10 points go to the winner of stage 1 and a playoff point as well that you get to take throughout the course of the playoffs. And Sauter, well, he's already the points leader and has scored the most playoff points already. So Bell, not only does Bell want to get for himself, but he wants to get so he can keep Sauter from getting that extra playoff point.
That's exactly right. And how many stages do you think that Johnny Sauter has failed to get points this year?
How many, Phil?
0. 0. Every single stage, Johnny Sauter has scored points.
That's pretty consistent. Which you would expect of a series champion, right? He won the championship just a year ago. Look at that. Christopher Bell from 21st to 2nd.
Yeah, good move by Chase Briscoe, up 5 spots to the 7th spot. Norm Benning also up 5 spots. Good job by Norm. Just knocking out just outside the top 20.
Coming to 5 to go here in stage 1. Bell has taken a look inside. He's taken a look outside, but just has not yet been able to get that right position to make the move on Sauter.
And he wants this playoff point, believe me.
He keeps beating them off the corner like that, getting that little bit of run. There's a big draft here at Texas, and he can get a little draft, pull out, and beat him into the corner.
The draft is so huge for these trucks here at Texas. These guys are running upwards of 180 miles an hour down the straightaways.
Still no change behind them. Matt Crafton 3rd with Grant Enfinger all over his tailgate. Ryan Truex in 5th. John Hunter Nemechek 6th.
One thing we usually don't see is Johnny Sauter making any mistakes. Remember, we talked about the fact that he ran the last 81 laps at Dover last week on the same set of tires, beat a lot of trucks with fresher tires, never put one tire out of the proper line that he needed to be into.
Helped that his teammate was behind him, right? I mean, you got to believe that maybe the teammate gave him a little bit of a break.
And the fact that the teammate had already been to victory lane, Kaz Grala. Chase Briscoe trying to get up underneath the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. He's got a great run going off the corner here.
How about this? Watch it again. A little contact, maybe? Yes.
Yes, Ryan Truex Jr. didn't leave John Hunter Nemechek much room on the bottom of the racetrack. This is from Chase Briscoe's Ford on board. A bit of a moment right there.
Oh, and Nemechek had that left rear in the grass. The left rear in the grass and the right front into the 16 truck. That's usually not a good combination.
We talked about everybody having different people this week, spotters, crew members. Ryan has a different spotter this week, and that right there was clearly miscommunication from the spotter to the driver.
Final lap of the stage here for Johnny Sauter, Christopher Bell. Playoff point at stake.
Well, I really thought Bell was going to be able to get Sauter, but don't see that happening here in this final lap of stage one. Johnny Sauter holding off Christopher Bell. Final lap of stage one. With it comes 10 championship points, and of course that one playoff point that is going to be so important down the road. Stage one complete, and Johnny Sauter takes the green checkered. No surprise to see Sauter and Bell running 1-2. They're 1-2 in points. They're 1-2 in playoff points.
1-2 on the track. 1-2 in everything.
No surprise, close racing everywhere at Texas. No room for error. Stage two when we come back. Stage one is complete, and Johnny Sauter with his fourth stage win of the season. Sauter gets the 10 points, just pads his championship lead. Trucks getting ready to head to pit road for the first scheduled stop of the night. By the way, the 19 of Austin Cindric had that early contact. He is in the garage, done for the night. Grant Enfinger pits from fourth. Alan?
And they like the truck. Grant Enfinger says they have something they can work with. This is a brand new truck, and remember, it is Grant Enfinger's first trip here to Texas. They're looking for a good run, already up one spot early in the running. Hermie?
Christopher Bell started 21st, no problem, up to second. But he did say his truck stalled out a little bit when he caught the 21, much like it can do at Daytona or Talladega. It'll be an air pressure adjustment for the 4. The 21 of Johnny Sauter, a little bit tight, 4 tires and fuel for the 21.
Yeah, they made a chassis adjustment on that 21. Try to help him out as well as see the teams coming off pit road. Trying to decide on 2 tires or 4 tires and what might work best.
It looks like our top 6 trucks off of pit road all took 2 tires. John Hunter Nemechek, the first truck that took 4 tires, and he will restart, looks like, in about the 7th spot. Let's see if we can talk to our stage 1 winner, Johnny Sauter. Hey, Johnny Sauter, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, go ahead.
Johnny, you've been 100% so far. You've got points in every single stage this year. What do you got there with that Allegiant Chevy?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, you saw the start of the race there where I got a little bit up out of the groove, and there's just no grip there. So the 4 is pretty fast. Obviously, he started in the back, but proud of everybody at GMS Racing and Hendrick Engines and Chevrolet, and just going to have to race hard here. This racetrack's pretty treacherous if you get up towards the top, so just have to be smart.
Johnny, you've got a great string going there with 5 top 3 finishes in a row. We need another one.
Yeah, I agree with you. So nobody wants it more than we do. So we're going to give it everything we got here. Hopefully it's a win, but we just got to be smart here and see what this racetrack does. I think it's kind of a guessing game if it's going to free up or tighten up or whatever it's going to do. So just try to be smart.
All right, buddy. Thanks and good luck.
Thank you.
Johnny Sauter, stage 1 winner. 2 tires or 4 tires, about to find out how it pays off. Back at Texas, getting ready for stage 2. Johnny Sauter was the stage 1 winner. Phil, we heard during your conversation with him, he was talking about a little bit of a temperature issue on that 21.
Yeah, he told Joe Shearer it's about 240 degrees. You can see these guys pointing at the front end. Looks like there's a little bit of debris right there. And then when he goes back on the racetrack, he had Wendell Chavis, the 49 truck, right in front of him, and he pulled up right on his tailgate, and it looked like that debris came off. So good move by Johnny Sauter. You can see right there that debris is gone from that truck. Wendell Chavis now took the wave around and went back around the racetrack.
So Sauter and that 29 truck of Chase Briscoe, in fact, the first 6 trucks all have taken 2 tires to get that track position. The first truck back there with 4 tires is the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Check in quickly with Hermie.
Yeah, Vince, the 4 of Christopher Bell also took 4 tires. I talked to crew chief Rudy Fiegel. He certainly understands the track position. They're going to be watching these other trucks that took 2 tires, but they just felt like where they started and what they worked through the first part of this race, they'd rather take 4 now and keep the door open for maybe 2 later on tonight.
Can't argue with that. Certainly the way Christopher Bell came from 21st to 2nd, so you know he's got the speed on the 4 tires.
Absolutely, and we knew, or I knew that these guys were going to experiment with the 2 tires, and this is the perfect time to do it, because when we come to the end of this race, when they have to make that last stop, 2 tires or 4 tires, one of them's going to get out front.
So Johnny Sauter, our stage 1 winner, will start from the inside. Good look at him in the blue and white 21 truck, and the 29 of Chase Briscoe on the outside. That's Kaz Grala, and our pole winner, Noah Gregson, on the outside of row 2. Green is out. Stage 2 underway. Side by side, Sauter and Briscoe. That's the spot that's so tough to drive off turn 2.
See these guys hang back and get that run to make the pass on Matt Crafton.
John Hunter Nemechek, the 8 truck, makes the pass on Matt. Chase Briscoe hanging in there extremely well on the outside.
How about that?
So impressed with Briscoe and what he's done here in the first 6 races of his rookie season.
He actually led that lap right there. Now he's going to tuck in behind Johnny Sauter. See Cody Coughlin, the 13th truck, going a little bit wide, but did not hurt him. He's actually going to get to the outside of Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton is fading right now.
Chase is one of the guys I talked to after practice that thought he had a good race truck. Knew it wasn't going to qualify well, but thought he had something to race with.
Matt Crafton has dropped outside the top 10 right now.
Remember, they were looking so forward to that pit stop to make adjustments to help with the handling of that truck.
Oh, he's got issues. Look at the trucks going by. Stuart Friesen, the 52. Ben Rose, the 27, who's back on the lead lap, goes by.
Crafton took 2 tires, but that certainly shouldn't be the reason that he slipped back so far under these circumstances.
He had a pretty good corner there through 3 and 4 there. Seems like all his trouble's down in 1 and 2.
Sometimes you get a little high and you get some debris on the tires, and it's hard to get them cleaned up, especially if you keep getting shuffled to the outside.
What's going on with that 88, Hermie?
Vince, same thing we heard on lap 2 or 3 of the initial start of the race. The 88 shatters the front tires on lower air pressure. They did come down and take 2 tires on this most recent pit stop, but it seems the first couple laps when this truck leaves pit road, the 88 cannot get through the corner. We'll see if the air pressure comes up and helps Matt out, but he has lost a ton of track position.
Yeah, he's all the way back into 16th. Meanwhile, a battle toward the front. Christopher Bell looking inside of Chase Briscoe.
A good job by Chase, realizing that Christopher was there. He had his nose up there, gave him some room when they got down to turn 3.
Good luck at the back of that Briscoe truck at Bell, and how close Christopher is running right up underneath that 29.
This is a great test to see how 4 tires works against 2 tires. Christopher Bell obviously putting 4 tires on in his pit stop, already up to the 3rd spot. Excuse me, 4th spot.
Johnny Sauter continues to lead. That's Noah Gregson, our pole winner, running 2nd. Taking a look inside of Sauter. Gregson led 13 laps at the start of the race this evening. His first laps led in his rookie year here in the Truck Series. But Sauter has been out front for the majority of them.
We watched the start of this race and watched Noah do the same thing. Very fast right off the get-go. But as the run went, truck started getting a little tight and he faded back a little bit. We'll see if they got some good adjustments and keep it running.
Yeah, he faded all the way back to the 8th spot at the end of stage 1.
Early portion of the 2nd stage after Johnny Sauter won stage 1, followed by Christopher Bell. And Sauter out front has not relinquished that lead. But Noah Gregson sitting there with those 2 tires, got a little track position back, and he runs 2nd with Christopher Bell on 4 tires in 3rd.
You know, that's important because The second stage will end at lap 80. Then we'll have 87 laps to go. So we know we're going to have another pit stop in this third final stage of this race as Matt Crafton is all over Myatt Snider. And Myatt's driving by Austin Wayne himself.
I think Myatt had to lift a little bit for Austin Wayne, and that's what caught Matt a little off guard, and luckily slowed down and get into him.
Great look from Matt Crafton's view.
Looks like Matt Crafton's truck is coming around. The air pressure's built up in those right side tires.
Yeah, but he lost so much track position. Gotta believe that's not going to be a strategy they're going to continue to go back to.
Yeah, and he's 6 seconds behind right now, so that could be pretty much insurmountable to the end of this stage.
Bell gets around his teammate Gregson and brings Briscoe with him. That teammate love only goes so far, right?
Well, Christopher Bell sees that Johnny Sauter in that 21 truck up there. He wants to get a hold of him. We'll see if Marcus Richmond was able to make any changes to that 18 truck of Noah Gragson. See if that truck has a little bit longer speed.
How about Noah Gragson, Hermie?
They make some adjustments to the 18, Vince, but the biggest adjustment they're trying to work through is an adjustment by the driver himself, Noah Gragson. They've asked him to be careful not to overshoot or overdrive the entry to the corner, especially turn one. He just got to learn to hit the corner exactly right consistently, and they feel like they'll be okay. But this driver is a rookie. He's fast, but he's learning how to navigate this racetrack.
That is the single biggest mistake that you can make at Texas Motor Speedway as a rookie, is overdriving the entries of the corners. If you overshoot it, and the drivers were talking in pits before, if you overshoot turn one, that truck just doesn't want to turn through the middle. And then you can't get back to the throttle, and it kills your straightaway speed. So that is a mistake that you're going to have to learn and not do.
It's so hard to get your arms around that concept of going slower to go faster, though.
It is, and that's the thing. You know, I talk to these guys a lot, these rookies, these young guys, and I tell them to slow down and you'll go faster. And they all look at me like I got two heads. What are you talking about? That's the perfect example of slowing down to go faster.
Great look as Christopher Bell continues to stalk Johnny Sauter.
This is kind of how it would look when we entered that first stage, isn't it?
Yep, halfway through stage 2 now. 20 of 40 down in this stage.
Now I'm going to tell you how much Christopher Bell has learned as a driver this year. He just drove in that corner about a half a truck width lower. Here he is again, half a truck width lower than Johnny Sauter. That's keeping the air on the front of the truck. That's making sure that he's got a good entry and gets down in there, and it still turns through the middle of the corner. That's smart racing right there. He's learning a lot.
And right now, Christopher Bell knows that he has 4 tires, knows that Johnny Sauter only put 2 tires, so in his mind, he should be better than that 21 truck right now. But right now, he's not able to do anything with Johnny because of the aero situation.
I don't know if that's quite the case, though, Phil, because a couple of guys in practice did just that. They took right side tires and left their 30-lap-old left sides on, and the trucks really didn't slow down about it. It was very surprising. So I don't know if there's any speed in the left side tires.
But a lot of crew chiefs are looking on with interest of how 2 tires versus 4 tires is working out. Talking about on the move. Look at Matt Crafton. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, here for the 39th time. No track has hosted the trucks more often than Texas. Johnny Sauter out front and Chase Briscoe running third in that Ford. How about this Ford fact, Phil?
That is the only time it ever happened in the history of this series where Ford finished in all top 5 positions. And another thing of note is the top 3 finishers, the late Kenny Irwin Jr., Boris Said, and Rick Crawford, were all rookies. First time and only time that's ever happened in the history of the series where rookies finished in the first 3 positions.
I can tell you that as a kid from Indiana, I was sitting in a car listening on the radio to the final laps of that race, rooting on Kenny Irwin to come home, and he brought it in with a win.
As a kid?
I was a kid, man.
Well, it finally happened. Johnny Sauter slipped up the racetrack, and here comes Christopher Bell.
And it might cost him 2 positions here.
It's definitely going to cost him 2.
Chase Briscoe trying to get underneath.
Look at him fight that steering wheel.
Briscoe had a handful right there and gathered it up. Couldn't complete the pass on Sauter. Lucky to keep it going in the same direction. But that puts Christopher Bell in the front. taking over the lead.
I'll be really curious to see if Christopher Bell can drive away from Johnny Sauter. We feel as though he probably had a better truck. Even in that first stage, couldn't get by Johnny Sauter. Now let's see what he can do with 10 laps to go in this stage.
Bell worked Sauter lap after lap after lap, just waiting for Sauter to make a mistake, and he did, and Bell was right there to pounce.
How about Johnny all over the back of him?
Got a great run off of turn 4.
It's amazing how well these trucks pull up, because these lead truck punches such a big hole in the air.
Now, if Johnny's truck was a little loose like it was the first run, running behind Christopher will help that truck, will help build some pressure in the right front, tighten that truck up, make it better.
You see Johnny able to keep those left sides right down on that wide line, not losing any ground at all to Christopher Bell.
Chase Briscoe right there as well in third. At the 3 manufacturers, Bell in the Toyota, Sauter in the Chevrolet, and Briscoe in the Ford. And a big distance back to 4th.
Johnny had a tough corner there, lost a lot of ground. Looks like he lost the front end.
He got a little too close, lost the front end, pushed up the racetrack. That's pretty typical when you get this close in these trucks.
John Hunter Nemechek for 4th, and Enfinger taking a look inside, hoping to grab that position.
John Hunter did a good job of pinching him down, but yet giving him room down there. If Grant was able to pull up beside him, there was room. Look at Johnny Sauter now. Side-by-side battle with Chase Briscoe for second.
Now 6 laps to go in this stage, so every one of those passes is important because they get a point.
Chase, great crossover move. Incredible. That was fantastic. Done perfectly.
I love the fact he said, I don't want to go on the outside of Johnny Sauter down there in 1 and 2. He did the crossover, grabbed that second spot.
How about that 29 of Chase Briscoe, Allen?
Yeah, 2 tires working out just fine for Chase Briscoe. On the last run in the first segment, his fastest lap was at lap 35. He gets faster as the race goes on, and we're seeing that now as we end of the second segment, Vince.
Yeah, we heard several crew chiefs say that they ran their fastest laps yesterday in practice after 30, 35 laps on their tires. Briscoe add his name to that list here in race conditions.
Watch Johnny Sauter right side of your screen. This is in replay when he was right on his rear tailgate. See him duck down to the inside. Looks like his truck, he lost the front end of the center of the corner and lost. Look, all that room he's losing right now. And that brought Chase Briscoe into the battle.
There's 2 factors there. Johnny went in a little low trying to keep the air on, but he got so close that it pushed up, so he had the wrong angle.
See, Grant Enfinger was running up there in the 5th spot. Went a little bit high, lost that spot to Kaz Grala. That was actually for 6th.
Tell you what, Phil, one thing that surprised me, I thought that 1 and 2, the outside groove was going to come in quicker than 3 and 4, and I think it's just the opposite. I think 3 and 4 has definitely come in. You can run too wide and hold your own. 1 and 2 is a whole different story.
We saw Chase run through 3 and 4 on the outside of Johnny Sauter, backed off when he got down to turn 1, did not want to go there on the outside, crossed him over and took that spot.
Here comes Briscoe and Johnny Sauter. They're running 2nd and 3rd, chasing Christopher Bell with 2 laps to go in this second stage. The pits are closed. Pits always closed with 2 laps to go in the stage. As you look at Kaz Grala taking a look underneath Ryan Truex, another good run for these 2. Grala was 2nd last week at Dover. Remember, he won the season opener at Daytona. And Ryan Truex, he and crew chief Scott Zipadelli continue to do a good job in that 16. And Enfinger is right there as well.
But you see how shallow an entry that Kaz had to make in turn number 1 because Ryan didn't give him that much room, and Kaz was able to pull that pass off.
Very good patience by Kaz to not overdrive it, getting in there, trying to make the pass.
Final lap of stage 2. Johnny Sauter won stage 1. Not going to do it this time. It's going to belong to that man and that team, the 4 team of Christopher Bell, bringing it home. Going to win stage 2, and Bell going to take a stage for the 3rd time this season. Takes the green checkers.
And another playoff point that he can carry all the way to Homestead.
So the top 10 all get some points to help strengthen their position in the standings. Christopher Bell, the Stage 2 winner at Texas.
I'm really looking forward to the all-driver broadcast at Pocono. It's definitely a different perspective.
Usually they send a cute pit reporter down.
I feel like I should be the best with Jamie Little coaching me.
You send a guy like Ricky down or something, them guys ain't gonna want to talk much.
Basically, as long as I don't say boom goes the dynamite at any point in time, it'll be okay.
Looking forward to that. The all-driver edition, kind of our own Brady Bunch version of those guys up in the booth, the Hollywood Hotel, and down on Pit Road as well. And I thought it was nice that Ricky referred to me, a pit reporter, being cute.
Yeah,
downstairs, being down on the.
Well, I'm not sure he's talking about you, but anyway.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah.
Going to be fun. Kevin and Clint, Joey upstairs in the booth, and as mentioned, Danica and Denny Hamlin in the Hollywood Hotel, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Ricky Stenhouse. That's a can't miss tomorrow. Watch it, the Xfinity Series race from Pocono. Well, 2 stages down here at Texas, and this is the beginning of the final stage. And a couple of teammates out front, Christopher Bell and Myatt Snyder.
Chase Briscoe's going to jump right to the tailgate of the Ford Christopher Bell, but Myatt Snyder is hanging tough there in that 51 truck.
Briscoe trying to secure second. Not easily done. How about that dive down by Nemechek? Wow. John Hunter Nemechek shoots to second.
These guys realize that it's pretty challenging to pass out there, and a little bit easier to pass them on a restart than it is once they get shook out and going.
When you get that opportunity to get that little run, you've got to take it.
How about Timothy Peters there in the 99 truck racing for the top 5?
Peters, his first run in that 99, working with former crew chief Shane Huffman, back together again.
Timothy liked his truck for race runs. He thought it was drivable and really good behind other trucks. So this is not really a big surprise to me.
Good pit work by Shane Huffman to get Timothy some track position. Got him up in the top 5.
Todd, we saw Christopher Bell on that stop, and we heard from Rudy Fugle. They put on just the 2 tires. They chose left sides versus the right sides. Why do you think he made that move?
Well, I think Rudy just outfoxed the rest of the field, because these right side tires are going to go until they make their final stop. And when he makes that final stop and puts right side tires on with the old lefts, he's going to pick up more speed. I think Rudy just made the race-winning call right there.
How about Kaz Grala in the 33, Hermie?
Coming off a nice finish at Dover last week, Vince, but I got to tell you, crew chief Jerry Baxter is really on the chip tonight. He is really amped up about this race. Early on, he was on his driver about not reacting soon enough to the spotter, and in recent moments, he has been very vocal on the radio about being unhappy with the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. They feel like they were raced wrong on the racetrack, and he's encouraging his driver to be more aggressive. So Jerry Baxter is very animated and passionate about his driver tonight.
Well, the one thing you don't have to worry about is John Hunter Nemechek being aggressive. I mean, he will take that every opportunity he gets, and we saw that daring 3-wide move to the inside that Nemechek made, ended up putting him in position. Now he runs third. Sometimes isn't that a thin line, though, for your driver, especially an 18-year-old, doesn't have a lot of experience? How aggressive should you be?
Yeah, I think you want to make sure you run all the laps first, but right now he knows that Kaz is really doing a nice job, did a great job last week finishing second at Dover, but he just wants him to learn fast, and Jerry Baxter is a great guy on top of the pit box to help with that process.
There's your leader, Christopher Bell.
Whenever I go back through the gap.
Johnny Sauter in second. Heard some radio earlier where Sauter was talking about when he gets behind. When he gets behind another truck, really fighting tight, the aero tight in that truck of the 21 when he gets behind another vehicle.
I think maybe he was talking about the truck being a little bit free when he got back to the throttle, and Rudy said, drive some tight into it, try to overheat that right front tire, let that air pressure build up a little bit.
It's exactly what you have to do, and I kind of knew this was going to happen. To put them left side tires on there, it's going to change the balance of the truck, and he's just got to live through it and drive through it for this run until he can get those right side tires on.
Good battle for first and second there. Battle between Bell and Sauter, first and second, and then third and fourth right behind him with Chase Briscoe and John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, Chase was able to get that third spot back from John Hunter Nemechek. Trying to close in on our front two now. These guys are running some incredibly fast speeds. They're running track record speeds right now. That last lap, Chase Briscoe ran a 29:09. That would be a track record here, even faster than qualifying.
Wow. Sun has gone down, air temperature's cooling, track's getting cool, and the speeds are going up.
Had a couple of cautions early tonight.
How about our top four right here
5
together?
or 6 laps, but since then, green flag racing.
Yeah, the top four have opened up about a second half lead over that fifth place running truck of Kaz Grala right now.
Bell continues to lead. Early part of stage 3, the final stage of this race. 167 laps, we're 96 in.
They all pitted on lap number 83. We know that they're going to have to make another pit stop. They can go somewhere between 50 and 55 laps. So right now, these guys are riding right now, trying to get in a good position.
There's Infinger making the move inside of Myatt Snyder for position. Justin Haley taking a look as well in that 24 truck.
Myatt doing the right thing right there. He's just getting some laps, keeping it one piece. Don't push the issue. Don't try to pinch the guy down. Just keep running and getting laps.
We know Myatt only got 2 tires on his last pit stop as well. Johnny Sauter has a little bit of momentum now. Got a lap truck in front of Christopher Bell.
Bell had never led laps here at Texas before tonight. He's been out front 28 circuits. Johnny Sauter's led the most, and right now Sauter right there in the battle.
Losing a couple spots. It looks like Chase Briscoe used the time that Johnny Sauter backed off getting around that lap truck to drive up in between them and made the pass and brought John Hunter Nemechek with him.
Chase saw what was coming. He knew that lap truck was going to get in the way. He backed the corner up.
Ooh, tight between Sauter.
Ooh, look at Johnny get loose.
Little loose.
Tried to get under Nemechek. Why does the balance change so much when a truck gets underneath another right there in the corner?
These trucks are so dependent on air. When you get somebody underneath you, it just robs you. When you're underneath somebody, it just robs that truck of side force and rear downforce.
And also, Phil, when a truck pulls up underneath you, the air that comes off the front of that truck can also get up on your spoiler and make you push. So there's a lot of things that go on when they're racing around each other.
Now Chase Briscoe in the hunt for Christopher Bell.
Chase was the fastest truck on the racetrack once again.
These two both come from a dirt background. Not the first time they've been running 1 and 2 in a race. Very familiar with one another, raced against each other for a long time.
One of the only times they've been doing it at 180 miles an hour, though.
So much has been expected of Christopher Bell. Came up through the same pipeline as Kyle Larson. Larson set the bar high. There's no question about it. Out of the Keith Kunz team in USAC, Larson came up, made his way, and Bell was one of those that followed the same path, and automatically people expect Bell to be just as good when he steps up into the NASCAR circuit. That's a tough act to follow.
Sure is. John Hunter Nemechek in a good battle with Johnny Sauter. That is a battle for the 3rd spot. Kaz Grala has closed in on these 2 trucks battling for 3rd.
Johnny's truck's really going away right now. This didn't make the right adjustments, or maybe Joe Sherry went a little too far.
Great look for Matt Crafton in that 6th spot. That's Kaz Grala up ahead of him.
Well, John Hunter doesn't give those guys a whole lot of room there when they get down into turn 1. Guys, look to the inside.
John Hunter pinching those guys down. He's got to be careful, because when you do that, you take a chance of wrecking yourself.
How about Johnny Sauter? Matt Crafton making the move on the outside. That grip is there on that 2nd lane in 3 and 4, Todd, like you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And this is for the lead. Briscoe was pressuring Bell. Bell was able to hold him off.
Chase is doing a great job. You watch him every lap, and he's trying to figure out how to set Christopher up.
The 18 of Noah Gragson, our pole winner on pit road. What's going on with the 18, Hermie?
This came down pit road. He had a vibration in the 18. They could not diagnose what tire it was on, so they came down unscheduled green flag pit stop for the 18. They got some ground to make up, had a really solid run going.
Well, they got a lot of ground to make up now, Hermie, because as he pitted from 8th, too fast entering. So penalty to go along with that unscheduled stop.
Tough break for Noah Gragson. Outstanding run for that young man after sitting on the pole this afternoon.
Back to the lead with Bell holding off Chase Briscoe. 60 to go.
The Royals take a crack at the Padres on FS1.
He's made the catch.
Then the games move to Fox, and court is in session when the Baltimore Orioles meet the judge and jury.
Gone!
Kenny O's Beat the Rap, Major League Baseball, Saturday at 4 Eastern on FS1. Then at 7 Eastern on Fox.
What goes around comes around. And as a sport that races in laps, we know that a clean race pays off in the finish. It's why NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel, like Sunoco Green E15, so we can offset our carbon emissions. We're not going to stop making a difference, and neither should you. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
I miss you, babe.
I wish you were here. I miss home.
For the guy who finds a way, always unstoppable.
The end of the week. Work is over, school is out, and the wild ones come out to play.
The green flag is out.
Pups get a chance to dance with the big dogs.
Oh, they're going at it.
Roars from engines compete with roars of fans. And the stadium lights become a spotlight for one.
There he is, Johnny Sauter.
It's truck season, America.
The Tricky Triangle didn't earn its nickname for no reason.
It's more than tricky. It's a pain in the...
You're good in turns 1 and 2, bad in 3.
Later on, you're good in 3, bad in 1 and 2.
Some love it, some hate it.
Me, I'll conquer it.
The Monster Energy Series from Pocono. Coverage begins Sunday at 1:30 Eastern on FS1.
Less than 60 to go at Texas, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. A great battle for the lead between Christopher Bell in that 4 truck and Chase Briscoe in the 29. 1, 2, 3, Bell, Briscoe, and Sauter. Toyota, Ford, and Chevy. The manufacturers all represented.
It's playing out just like we talked about how important track position is, clean air is.
Sauter's really dropped back, though, after being right there in the front and in the mix. Over almost a second and a half now behind the leader.
There he is, extreme right side of your screen there.
This has been really fun to watch. Chase Briscoe is trying everything. He has got a faster truck than Christopher, but he just can't get around him. But give him credit, he's trying everything in the book to get there.
It's not unprecedented for a rookie to win here at Texas. It's happened 7 times at this racetrack.
This would be Briscoe's first career win if he could possibly get past Bell and hold on for the victory. And it would be a nice bounce back for this team. This team was hit pretty heavily with a penalty during the week after having a tire come off their truck last week at Dover. Crew chief suspended for 4 races along with a couple of crew members as well. Buddy Cisco stepped in as the crew chief for Mike Hillman Jr. this week.
Yeah, but those guys really are on the same page, constant contact. So obviously, Junior set that truck up at the shop and Buddy Cisco's done a great job with it. Hermie, what's going on with Noah Gragson?
Phil, it was a loose left rear wheel on the 18 that caused the issue, the vibration. You can see these holes are supposed to be round. You can see right here, wild out right here, an issue right here as well. They could not diagnose exactly which wheel it was, so they came down pit road, put 4 tires on, and then compounded that mistake with a speeding penalty.
Yeah, Hermie, but at least Noah Gragson realized that he had a loose wheel, came to pit road instead of trying to ride it out. So that was a great heads-up move by that 18-year-old. And he may have made the decision at the last moment, and that may have been why he sped on pit road. But he's got a lot of catch-up to do now. He's being shown 2 laps down.
Tell you what, Ben Rhodes having another nice run again tonight. They have brought a competitive truck to the track every week. Crew Chief Eddie Traconis, Rhodes doing a good job behind the wheel as you see Ryan Truex going past the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Another driver and team we keep talking about each and every week. Ryan Truex with a Scott Zipadelli-led team. Impressive every single week.
What's impressive here tonight is they weren't happy with their truck at the end of practice. It drove good. Ryan liked the way it drove, but it just didn't have good speed. So Scott Zipadelli told me, he said, I'm going to change some things and take a little gamble and hope that it pays off, and it obviously has.
Well, and remember, Rhodes had to make that unscheduled stop earlier in the race due to an issue with a tire, had a small hole in the tire, ended up getting a free pass at the end of stage 1, but has really come back nicely inside the top 10 as you see Cody Coughlin in for a stop. 50 to go. They're inside their window now in regards to making it to the end on fuel.
Yeah, I think these guys, because there's really no advantage in speed in those tires, so I don't see these guys pitting any earlier than they need to. I don't see him short pitting as Ben Rhodes tries to keep Kaz Grala behind him as he tries to work to the inside of Matt Crafton.
As Phil mentioned earlier, the fuel window somewhere between 50 and 55 laps. So at this point, when you stop, you're stopping for the last time, scheduled.
Yes, absolutely.
Last scheduled stop.
I think we looked to see these trucks come in somewhere around lap 133, 135, something like that.
So give about 30 from the end, or with 49 to go as Stuart Friesen is in the wall. Boy, they were already in the backup truck after some contact in practice. Tough break for Friesen.
And a tough break for Cody Coughlin that came to pit road. He was running in the 12th spot. Stuart Friesen was running 18th. Cody right now is being shown 2 laps down, and there are no trucks being shown 1 lap down, so he might get one of those laps back. And I think if everybody else comes to pit road, he might possibly get the wave around as well.
Heavy damage to that Chevrolet Silverado for Stuart Friesen. Here's what happened.
Yeah, it looks like a right front tire or something broke in the right front suspension, the way that truck turned dead right as he was over there in turn 4.
Along for the ride, nothing he could do about it.
Here's a young man that's trying to get some experience, gaining experience.
Pit road is still closed for 1 more lap.
Pit stops coming up. Final stop expected. Hey, check this out. Sunday night here on FS1. Stakes couldn't be any higher. Bitter rivals, Mexico and the United States. Clint Dempsey and the U.S. men's national team taking on Chicharito in Mexico in a crucial World Cup qualifier. That's Sunday. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern on FS1. United States a winner last night over Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm a huge Chicharito fan.
How about Christian Pulisic, the 18-year-old for the United States?
He may be the biggest thing in soccer right now.
This kid is terrific. Had both goals last night for the United States. Midfielder, he is something else. If you haven't watched the men's national team, I encourage you to do so Sunday against Mexico. Very exciting. Can't wait. We've got a big weekend. We've got the Xfinity Series race from Pocono tomorrow. All drivers part of the broadcast crew, and then the big cup race on Sunday at Pocono.
Kyle Busch on the pole for Sunday.
Soccer as well. World Cup qualifier. Can't wait. Big weekend.
Kyle Busch looking for his first point win of 2017. Won the All-Star race and $1 million, by the way.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Pit road is open. The crew getting ready. And Alan Cavana's there waiting on him.
Chase Briscoe, all he wants is some track position. He really believes if they can get out in front of the 4, they will run away with this race. His crew chief is so excited. Buddy Cisco says they are coming up with a plan. We'll see what that is. 2 tires or 4. This could be the money stop, Hermie.
Christopher Bell will get 2 right side tires only and fuel. They will not wait on fuel. Christopher said the truck was really good, got a little bit snug on the tail end of the run. The 21 at the bottom of your screen, that's Johnny Sauter. His truck is too tight. He needs front grip. You can see a wedge adjustment in the 21. Also, 4 tires going to the left side as well on the 21.
How about that? Todd, you called it. The 4 was going to come for the final stop after getting those left sides last time. They were just going to come get 2 on the right side this time, and that'd be enough to take them to the end. And how about that 2-tire stop? No problem at all, but Justin Haley making up big ground.
How about Johnny Sauter losing 6 spots?
How's it going to shake out? Sunday on FS1, it's Monster Energy Cup Series racing from the track everyone loves to call the Tricky Triangle. Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Pocono. Coverage begins Sunday, 1:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. All right, Chase Briscoe with some issues, Alan.
Yeah, issues on the left side when putting those tires on. Little unclear what happened. Looks like the jack dropped a little bit too early. You can see it here. Watch the gun. Unclear if they get all of those lug nuts tight. There was a big conference down here in the pits wondering what they should do. They prepared. Looked like they were going to put tires up in the wall and bring the 29 of Chase Briscoe back down pit road. They have decided they are not going to do that. They know they have a fast truck. See what happens with that left rear tire. Vince?
Boy, it just looks like from a body language perspective that left rear changer did not feel like he got all those lugs tight.
He definitely didn't get that last one, and I'm not going to lay this one on the Jackman. He missed the lug nut. If you watch it close, the gun goes in, he hits the middle of the stud. He doesn't get the nut, and that's what the issue was.
So would you have come back?
I would have came back. I would have not taken that chance.
He's going to be, unfortunately, he's going to be in line for some sort of a penalty after the race with one loose lug nut.
43 laps to go at Texas, and Christopher Bell on that restart jumps back to the front, and Briscoe in second. We've seen Chase Briscoe chasing Christopher Bell for much of the evening. Remember, the 29 took 4 tires, the 4 took 2, but we haven't really seen that be a big difference maker so far here tonight.
Look at this wad back here led by Kaz Gralla in the 33. Remember that 27 right there in front of Matt Crafton's been really, really fast. Overcame an unscheduled pit stop to get back on the lead lap. He's going to go up through the middle now.
Here comes Crafton. Or excuse me, the 98 of Infinger, I should say, bringing them up in that first yellow truck, the second bright yellow one. Now we look on board with Matt Crafton.
Matt seems to be struggling on these restarts. The truck just does not go. I don't know. Maybe Junior Joyner's got the air pressures too low or too high, one or the other, but it just doesn't want to go on these restarts.
Maybe on the splitter a little bit, maybe the front end a little bit low till the air pressures build up.
And a call out to Austin Wayne Self there. We saw just in front of Matt Crafton. Was from the state of Texas. It's big for him to have a good run tonight himself. Approaching the top 10, currently in that 12th spot. As you look back at Crafton again, seems like once those pressures come up in that 88 truck, he has the speed, but it takes him a couple of laps to get there.
And he's too far behind by the time that happens. He was racing there with Travis Qualpel, giving that 66 truck a good ride, running up in the top 15.
Rhodes cuts in front of Peters.
Oh, Timothy, hang on.
Chased it up the track. Self, Crafton, and Quapple all go by.
I think Austin Wayne might have been right up on the back bummer, Timothy. Got him loose.
Guys, let's get back to that 29. We saw that they did not get all 5 lug nuts on. One loose lug nut would result in a fine. It would not be an encumbered finish. It would be a $2,500 fine. And so I think it's a great call by Buddy Cisco to leave that truck out, try to go for this win, and then shoot, I'll pay the $2,500.
Heck yeah. And once again, I think
you're not you paying the $2,500. You're not saying that you would pay the $2,500 for that.
No, I would. I guess is what I'm saying. If I was Buddy Cisco.
Yeah. But maybe you were saying, Phil, just out of the kindness of your heart. And I was going to say that would be breaking news.
Yes. No. Yeah. I'm kind, but
fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get the point, though. The win much more valuable than the $2,500 fine.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, guys. If he gets by this Ford truck, he's going to take off. He has got a faster truck for sure.
Yeah, but if
troubles
into the
outside wall.
Myatt Snider, turn 2, was running inside the top 10 at the time.
Doesn't look like there's a great deal of contact with the outside wall. I think now everybody's in their pit window. We stay out, Todd, unless we're back outside the top 10 needing an adjustment. I think all the trucks up front, we know that they can make it the rest of the way, so we stay out.
Absolutely. Track position is critical and key. You got to have it. If you have it, you don't want to give it up for sure.
Debris on the track. Trying to figure out what that.
I think that's some part of the safer barrier.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. It certainly looked like it. We'll get a better look at it on the replay as to.
Very little damage to the 51 Linguini hot sauce.
Oh, where the logo is here on the wall, that contact took off.
Just
part of that
quarter of it.
logo. Yeah, part of that logo. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Right there. It's missing.
Right about there.
Mm-hmm. Turn 2 has been a handful tonight.
That's a shame. Mike was doing a great job.
But he's still on the lead lap, and again, very little damage it looked like to that truck. So Bono Mannion can bring him there, tune him up a little bit. So he just got a little bit wide. He was racing with Ben Rhodes.
Oh, I think he had, barely any contact.
Barely. This looks like the spoiler just grabbed that styrofoam, maybe kissed the wall with that right rear corner. Maya did a nice job not letting that truck get any more damage than it did. And watch Travis Quapple, Timothy Peters go by on the outside.
Problem, Phil, if that quarter panel did get the wall, let's get a good close look here.
It did a little bit.
Now if that gets pushed over, if that rear panel gets pushed to the left, he's going to lose side force on that truck, and we know how important side force is.
Boy, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been way worse. I think he's going to be okay.
So a break for Snider, as we mentioned, was running inside the top 10 at the time of that contact.
Cody Coughlin, the 13 truck, will get the free pass. He's rebounded from being 2 laps down with that unscheduled pit stop under green. So good job by him. That will give us 15 trucks on the lead lap, including Mike Snider in this 51.
Yeah, we talked to Terry Cook, his spotter, Cody Coughlin's spotter, earlier today, and he said they thought they had a good truck. They had good speed.
They really found something in that last practice last night. They struggled a little bit early on, but got going on that last practice and felt pretty confident of a decent run tonight.
Well, we just saw Mike Snider make a little bit of wall contact there. Let's take a closer look at the action on track with the Liberty Mutual spotter coverage.
Yellow down, right in front of you. Keep coming, keep coming.
That was the 99 of Timothy Peters getting some direction on where to go or where not to go. So important what the spotters do.
That's when it really matters, is when something's happening way above them. And a lot of times those drivers, Todd, as they drive into turn 1, they can't see halfway around the corner. So it's invaluable for those spotters, as Ryan Truex was the highest running truck to come to pit road. I think he was running somewhere near the top 5.
Hermie?
Yeah, they just decided to come down and make a few adjustments. They didn't feel like they were in a position to win from where they were, so they came in and put 4 tires on, actually sticker tires on the 16 this time, and an air pressure adjustment. Hopefully they can overcome this track position. And this truck has been fast about the last 3 or 4 races, and they want to cap this thing off and have a shot to go to victory lane.
4 straight top 10s for the 16 of Ryan Truex. Season best 4th at Charlotte. Led 47 laps last week at Dover. Really, I think better. They had a better truck than 10th. They ended up 10th.
Yeah, sure did. You see our last 2.5 miles, 6th at Kansas, 4th at Charlotte. Definitely headed, I think, towards another top 10. He'll overcome this track position here and get back up in the top 10.
About 30 to go when we come back to Texas. It's been a tight one at the front, and we don't expect it to change. Going to be 32 to go when they take the green flag. That's Christopher Bell on the inside and Chase Briscoe on the outside of the front row, and they have been 1-2 for much of the night tonight.
What a great restart by Chase Briscoe, dead even with Christopher Bell.
John Hunter Nemechek and Justin Haley in that second row.
Bell strong through 1 and 2. Pulls out in front.
Chase Briscoe's got to be tired of looking at the back of that Ford truck. That has been his view much of the night tonight, as Bell has led 66 laps, and Chase Briscoe has been right there behind him for most of them.
Remember, Johnny Sauter restarted this race about 8th or 9th after his pit stop, and look at him going to the outside. Well, 3 wide work down there.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He's not going to do it, Todd. He heard you.
I was worried about John Hunter being on the outside, and Johnny goes 3 wide.
Look how much momentum Johnny lost, though. It allows Grant Enfinger and Ben Rhodes to get up there.
On board with Timothy Peters.
Look, Austin Wayne Self way high up there on exit of 4.
It is go time with 30 to go. No time to mess around now. That's a gaggle right there from about 7th.
Oh, trouble into the
11th.
wall.
John
and that's
Hunter.
the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Was running 4th. Heavy damage to the right side.
Tough
He's
break
got
for John
fluid
Hunter.
coming out.
Oh, contact.
Yeah, Haley
Justin
looked
Haley.
like he just either lost the front end or got a little bit loose and had to chase it up the hill. Made contact with that left rear corner, John Hunter. John Hunter had absolutely nothing he could do about it. We talk about he got loose, Todd, but we talk about how John Hunter really pinches those guys down.
You say he had nothing to do with it, but I'm sorry, but he should have gave him more room. You cannot run that tight down on somebody. But he's trying to go through on that second groove, and we know if you get up any higher than what he was going to lose time. So he tried to keep it down, and when you do, you suck that guy around, and this is what happens.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. You lose that side force, you lose that rear down force when someone's that close to you. And again, Todd, as you mentioned, he's trying to stay as low as he can because there's really no grip, just above the second lane up there. But unfortunately, he's going to get the worst of it.
Well, Hermie, we saw that 16 of Ryan Truex come to pit road. What are they talking about with that machine?
Well, Vince, I walked down to the pit and I spoke to Mike Gricci, who works on this truck along with Scott Zipadelli, and asked him why would they give up that track position. And Mike Gricci told me, he said, listen, when we put 2 tires on our truck last time, it was just too tight. We were not going to win the race the way we were. So they came down, put these 4 tires on, made some adjustments, and he drove back up to 7th in that short stint of green flag racing. So you guys need to watch this 16 truck. He may be a factor before this thing is over.
I like it. I mean, if you don't have a chance to win with what you got, come put something different on.
I mean, he might have been able to stay 5th or 6th or something like that, but I love that he came in and said, hey, let's go for it here.
John Hunter Nemechek's dad, Joe, frustrated with the misfortune of putting that one up into the wall and the heavy damage.
2 weeks.
Bronco equipment on the truck for the first time, a Texas company on the truck for the first time this weekend, and I know they were hoping to give him a ride to the finish.
2 weeks in a row to bring home a wrecked race truck. That's hard to go.
Our race summary with less than 30 laps remaining. Christopher Bell at 14, still on the lead lap. Boy, it's been a good competitive race back through the field. I mean, we've seen some good battles for the lead, for second place. I mean, right on back through. I mean, they are side by side, and nothing has come easy for any of these guys tonight.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter has worked his way back up to the third spot, but meanwhile, Chase Briscoe still riding behind that 4 Christopher Bell, Alan.
Yeah, Vince hit the nail on the head. Chase Briscoe came on the radio and said he's going to have nightmares of the sponsor on that car, JBL. I'm sure it'll all be better if we can get past and get that victory. Great back and forth between Buddy Cisco, who you see there, and the driver, Chase Briscoe. Buddy reminding him it looks like a Saturday night shootout at a dirt track, and Chase agreeing, saying he thinks he can beat Christopher Bell. Says Bell is mirror driving, and if you don't know what that is at home, that means you are looking backwards instead of forwards. Chase Briscoe certainly looking forward at first place.
Yeah, Chase is going to have to think about Johnny Sauter too, though.
Yeah.
Johnny's another player back in this sport.
Remember Sauter, a 3-time winner here. You know, if you get concentrating too much on one guy and forget about the other, that might cost you the spot that ends up costing you the race.
Well, Chase is worried, is talking about him mirror driving. I think more than mirror driving, he's just trying to break the draft every chance he gets. So, you know, Chase is just going to have to figure it out. And he's doing a great job. He's tried inside, outside, letting up early, getting in the throttle quick, staying right up on him. He's trying everything he knows and gaining a lot of experience doing it.
It's 10 o'clock in the East, and if you've tuned into FS1 looking for an HRA qualifying from Englishtown, stay with us. Not only do we have an exciting finish coming your way here with just 27 to go, but NHRA qualifying will follow us immediately. Bell and Briscoe. And how about Justin Haley? Shout out to Justin, and that 24 truck's done a nice job tonight, running up there inside the top 5. Going to restart on the second row with Johnny Sauter.
I think this is too close to call here. Chase Briscoe has the measure, it looks like, of Christopher Bell. Hasn't been able to get by him, as you were talking about, Todd, but I think this restart could be really critical here, and maybe it's going to matter on who's in the second row, who's going to be pushing those guys up in the front row.
If Chase gets another restart like that last one, and he can stay with them through 1 and 2, which we know the restart speed is a little slower through 1 and 2, so that is possible. 3 and 4, we see and talked about the outside being there, having some grip. If he can get into 3 on the outside of him, he might have a chance to get by.
He's going to have Johnny Sauter behind him. You know Johnny's going to be ready for this restart. But what an outstanding job that young man has done, coming from the 21st position to this lead here with 26 to go.
Christopher Bell with 3 career victories. Chase Briscoe, who will restart alongside on the front row, looking for his first career win. How about Johnny Sauter right there on the outside of row 2? He's won here at Texas 3 times. And Justin Haley, the inside of the second row, just 18 years old, looking for his first career win as well.
How about Grant Enfinger? Let's give him a little shout. He's had a good truck all night. Jeff Hensley knew that they had a good truck and was going to try to play some strategy, and they're up at the front.
Good spot. Ryan Truex right there in 7th with the freshest tires in the field right now.
Great call by Scott Zipadelli. I love that call.
And we've talked about the speed in that 27 truck of Ben Rhodes, so don't count him out on the inside of the third row. They're coming to the restart, and the green, there will be 25 laps remaining, and the green flag waves.
Another good restart, Chase Briscoe.
Got a little bit of a push from Johnny Sauter.
2 wide, side by side, back 5 rows deep.
He does it.
He's even with him, Todd.
Chase Briscoe has led just 1 lap, trying desperately to get out front of Christopher Bell. Side by side.
Will not clear him.
Cannot make it.
This is going to be interesting here.
Meanwhile, Johnny Sauter right there looking to pounce. And finally, Bell secures the spot.
Enfinger was forced way high by the 24 of Haley. That allowed Ben Rhodes to get in front of him. And here comes Austin Wayne Self, the 22.
Inside the top 10, great run by Austin Wayne Self tonight.
Home game for Austin Wayne Self.
Season best second at Daytona, career best second at Daytona, making his 4th start of the season here tonight and doing it in front of the home fans. Great run in that 22.
Looks like Matt Crafton's truck has come around. He's up to 8th.
Christopher Bell leads with Chase Briscoe second, Johnny Sauter third, and Ryan Truex and Ben Rhodes filling out the top 5. Truex up there again. Ryan Truex, you run in the top 5 long enough, one of these nights it's going to fall in his lap.
Absolutely. Now, again, we talked about he's got the freshest tires on the racetrack right now. Tires don't mean quite as much here as they do some other places, as we see a good battle between the 33 of Kaz Grala and the 24 of his teammate, Justin Haley. That's a battle for 9th.
By the way, the 8th driver, John Hunter Nemechek, checked and released from the care center. Done for the night, obviously. As Grala and Haley nearly bang doors. And Cody Coughlin now getting up in it.
Cody doing a nice job of giving Kaz just enough room, but yet staying down edge. How about Ryan Truex going for 3rd?
Completes the pass on Johnny Sauter.
You know, as much as anything, Phil, over the just getting the 4 tires was being able to make the adjustment to make that truck faster. And it's showing up.
Camping World 20 to go at Texas. Christopher Bell continues to lead with Chase Briscoe in the hunt.
Keep an eye on that 16 of Ryan Truex. Got by Johnny Sauter. Open up a truck length or 2 on Johnny Sauter.
Third, 4th, and 5th right there. Truex, Sauter, and Ben Rhodes. While they battle one another, they're also keeping an eye on the 2 in front of them. And that's what it looks like out Chase Briscoe's front windshield.
Ooh, Ben Rhodes way wide.
Saw that happen earlier tonight as well.
Lost that spot to Grant Enfinger. Going to lose another spot possibly to Austin Wayne Self before he can get it gathered back up.
Another pretty good size wiggle there out of that 27.
Matt Crafton on the outside now, Ben Rhodes.
Self is up to 6th. Watch it here on the replay.
I think he heard at the last moment his spotter telling him that the 98 was inside, tried to move up the racetrack to give him room and missed the corner essentially.
That's exactly what happened. And the lap before that, Phil, Grant Enfinger ran in the 28s, the fastest lap of the race.
Wow. That is hauling around this place. Here the spotter talking to Chase Briscoe, telling him to get that 4 truck of Christopher Bell loose. How do you do that?
Just drive up right on his tailgate, or try to get to his outside and pinch him down like we saw it happen. But when you're going for the win here, that's a little bit different.
The problem is, Phil, to get up on his tailgate, it's going to make you push. Now here, Christopher had to get out of the throttle a little bit.
Briscoe all over, and Bell trying to block. The Norton Binning truck, that 6 machine, just enough in the way that prohibited Chase 29 of Briscoe from making that pass.
And that probably make Chase a little bit mad there.
I would be a little upset with that. That was he talked about him mirror driving, the 4 mirror driving. That was
I don't blame Christopher Bell for doing that. He knows that this pass, if he gets past, he will probably cost him the race. You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Oh, you're not giving anything up with 15 to go.
Absolutely not. But again, I certainly understand why Chase would be upset about that too, as Johnny Sauter grabs that 3rd spot back. Grant Enfinger now trying to get top 5s 2 weeks in a row.
And
as Crafton makes it 3 wide.
Matt Crafton will not quit. He hasn't had the best truck tonight, but man, when it seemed like when the tire pressures come up on that 88, he's as fast as any.
I'll tell you what, that pass, that was a veteran right there, knowing what to do. Saw those guys too wide off the corner, knew they were going to be slow. He backed the corner up, beat them to the throttle, and passed them both.
Chase really used that lap truck that stalled out Christopher Bell's momentum. Oh, trouble for Cody Coughlin. Looks like an engine's letting go.
Coughlin quickly gets it down off the racing surface. He was running 11th at the time, and that brings out the caution fluid on the track.
Yeah, you just can't take a chance. I mean, you know, maybe that's on the exhaust pipe. Looks like now it's coming out of the exhaust pipes, but NASCAR has to err on the side of caution here to make sure there's no fluid on the racetrack for these competitors.
And with just 13 laps to go, and this could be a lengthy cleanup, that shortens up that run to the finish.
Yeah, there's going to be fluid. That thing came out the bottom right there. We got a little oil fire. No, it's still running.
Yeah.
Clutch. Looks like a clutch fire to me.
Yeah, tough break for Cody Coughlin. Worked his way back up on the lead lap. Trying to get his first top 10 of his career.
Very unusual to see that right there. Maybe the rear main seal came out or something.
I don't
That's
see a
strange.
bunch of fluid underneath or behind the truck. You see they're getting him out of the vehicle quickly as that fire continued to burn underneath. Saw the crew waving for the fire crew to come over. Oh, what a beautiful night. You know, we had some rain earlier today in Texas, but it has been absolutely beautiful throughout the afternoon and evening hours.
You know what they say about a full moon? Brings the crazy out in everybody. We're getting ready to get crazy right here.
You know that's right. Now, we've only had one last lap pass for the win at Texas.
Who did that?
How'd that work out, Todd?
It worked out good for me. Yeah, I like that.
How about Mike Skinner? How did he feel about it?
Skinner wasn't real happy with me at that point.
Coughlin is out taking that walk to the garage. Oh, don't go anywhere. It's going to be fun to the finish.
Brittany Best Brown in top fuel. Hagen forces the issue with Funny Car, and Erica ends a long winless streak. Those were the headlines from an explosive epic. This weekend, the NHRA is in Englishtown, New Jersey, with the second of 4 straight at the Summer Nationals. And qualifying is next, right here on FS1.
You're going to see a great shootout to the finish here at Texas in the trucks, and then NHRA qualifying from Englishtown is next here on FS1. Well, it's going to come down to a shootout we anticipate between the 4 of Christopher Bell and the 29 of Chase Briscoe, and some others are going to be involved. We know that as well, as some of the others dip in for last-minute adjustment or maybe hoping the tires could make a difference for him to get a stronger finish.
Yeah, there's Ben Rhodes right there. We know he has a fast truck. He worked his way up in the top 5. Looks like he lost a little bit later. Hermie?
33 of Kaz Grala, similar situation with the 16, just too tight, could not make the move. He gave up the 10th position to come down pit road, 4 tires, fuel, and he took some wedge out of the left rear of the 33.
So those adjustments aren't necessarily going to get you in position to win the race because tires just aren't making that big of a difference. But it could get you in better position, especially if your truck, as Hermie said, is just too tight and not handling, get you in a better position to finish higher up the rank.
Yeah, without a doubt. But we really don't know exactly what's going to happen here. We could have a battle for the lead, those guys to get together, and it could take a bunch of trucks because they're all going to be bunched up here. We're going to restart inside of 10 to go.
Well, Chase Briscoe in that 29 truck, he's had his share of issues tonight or this season. Maybe tonight's going to be the night it all goes his way.
Yeah, that's lap number 2 at Daytona. Ends up with a top 5 finish. You see there's a lug nut coming off. It actually knocked the valve stem off that left rear tire. At Atlanta, cut a tire down.
Spun at Martinsville, contact with the 17. Then at Kansas, into the wall.
Running up in the top 5.
At Dover last week, the tire didn't get put on before the truck was released and back out on track. Tire comes off, and that led to a 4-race suspension for the crew chief and a couple of crew members. All right, Alan, how about Buddy Cisco and the job he's done as a fill-in crew chief on that 29?
And I assure you, no one is having more fun right now than Buddy Cisco talking to your driver. You just said there's no one else you'd rather have behind the seat right now. What's he doing right?
Everything. That guy is cool hand Luke, man. He's drove a well of a race, and he's gonna get to 4 here at the end of it.
He can beat everything with that aero push. How's he going to do it?
Got to free him up, getting in the corners. We'll take that left rear air away from him. We can make the pass.
They're confident down here.
I told him I'd spin my grandmama out to win one of these races, but he won't do that, but I would.
Good luck to you guys.
Well, thank goodness Buddy's grandma's not in that Ford truck.
He said, I would.
Well, let's see how it shakes out. We heard Buddy earlier, or the spotter for the 29 truck earlier, telling Chase Briscoe to loosen up that 4. There's Rudy Fugle, the crew chief for Christopher Bell, and that 4 machine.
Looks pretty calm there, doesn't he?
I can tell you that he's not very calm on the inside. When they pass the line, you see it says 9 to go up top, but when they pass the line, that'll switch to 8 laps remaining. It's going to be a dash to the finish. Who's it going to be? Bell on the inside, Chase Briscoe outside.
Another great restart for Chase.
Bell hasn't slipped up on his restarts either, giving Briscoe no opportunity to just steal that position.
Good run on exit for Briscoe. Here comes
Ryan
Truex
down low. And still Bell and Briscoe side by side, going through 3 and 4.
What a save by Johnny Sauter.
Oh, they're still side by side. 1 into the wall.
Myatt Snyder, the 51, into the wall.
The 33 involved in that incident as well, and the caution is back out. So the key is now who crossed that line in the lead. It looked like maybe Chase Briscoe was in front as they were side by side when that caution came out.
They actually will go to the most recent loop.
Timing loop. Yep.
Yeah, because it may not be the start-finish line. It may be a different route, different scoring loop. As you see, the left front tire is down on Kaz Grala's Kiklo Chevy.
I think that it's going to be Briscoe, because he was leading him all the way off of 4.
They were digging side by side, but it's hard to tell who might have had that bumper advantage, because it looked like it was going to be that close as you see Grala bringing it to pit lane.
And that's why you never give up. You keep digging.
How about coming to the line here and watch the lights on the fence come on, signifying that the caution is out. Who might be in front at that time?
Boy, it's almost dead even right there.
There's the, ooh. Oh, yep.
The 4 got him by a couple inches.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking the 29.
You're saying that it was the 29 of Briscoe.
Now, a truck linked after the start-finish line, which obviously has a scoring loop, it might have been the 4 truck.
But what a great job by Chase Briscoe.
How about?
That was his only chance.
Digging every single moment to try to get in front of the competitor that you're battling, and it comes down to just inches difference.
He had some great restarts through 1 and 2, but that's the best one he had through 3 and 4, and that got him the lead, and he's in control now for this potentially last restart.
Well, we're going to have, say, less than 5 to go. As got 5 to go now, obviously, so it's going to be.
I don't know how Johnny Sauter saved that truck right there. You saw a little bit of contact right there. And this was really the aftermath of that. That was all caused by that 3-wide scrum right in front of these two.
Unfortunate for Myatt Snyder and Kaz Grala. Both having solid runs tonight. Heavy damage to both. Looks like Grala got up into the 27 of Rhodes. Watch it here from the 99 of Timothy Peters. Maybe we'll get a little better view.
Great veteran move to miss this. You see, they got seized up with Johnny Sauter there, and that just got, it looked like it got Ben Rhodes into Myatt Snyder, and that turned Myatt sideways. Kaz came along with nowhere to go.
Yep. Yeah, that accident actually started about three trucks up ahead.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. It starts 3 or 4 ahead of you, and accordion's back, and the guy 4 trucks back's involved.
Yeah, it's the 9th caution we've had tonight.
Now we've talked about Chase having probably a better truck. than Christopher. So we'll see here if he can beat Christopher on this restart. He'll probably drive away.
Guys, we're being told from NASCAR is that the last scoring loop was actually off of turn number 4. The caution came out just prior to them getting to the start-finish line, and that's why Chase Briscoe is in the lead here. We're going to see it right here. The scoring loop is somewhere in this vicinity right here. You see him obviously ahead. He's going to lead him all the way to the start-finish line, but it was determined by that previous scoring loop that was off of turn number 4, as the caution will come out right here just prior to them getting to the start-finish line.
So when the caution comes out, they'll go back to the previous timing line.
See, the caution is out right there.
And they're not to the start-finish line
Christopher
yet.
Bell is actually, it looks like a few inches ahead here, but again, they go back to the previous scoring loop, which is over off of turn number 4. That's why the 29 truck is leading.
Is that the break that Chase Briscoe needed to win this race and get his first career win? How about the 4 of Christopher Bell, Hermie?
Well, Vince, crew chief Rudy Fugle did not contest NASCAR's decision about who was leading when the caution came out, but he did ask a couple times unsuccessfully to get them to look at the restart, the most recent restart between the 4 and the 29. He felt like the 29 got a jump on the restart, but to no avail. Also, we want to update the 18 of Noah Gregson, the pole sitter, was 2 laps down. Now he's back on the lead lap, 4 tires. He'll restart 9th, so he's back up in the top 10.
Another solid run for Gregson, who ran 9th last week at Dover. Get to the finish and put another top 10 on the board just with the 18-year-old. Needs to continue to build in the proper direction. Okay, here's that last restart that Hermie mentioned that Rudy Fugle was contesting.
The 4 truck is a control truck. You see him get on the throttle. Chase was almost a half a truck length behind. Rudy may be complaining that maybe he laid back too much to try to get some momentum, but it was obvious that the 4 truck of Christopher Bell went first. Watch, we'll see it right here.
Boy, that was simultaneously. That was a clean restart.
That was a great restart by Briscoe. He has not slipped up on the restart. He and Bell both have been rock solid on their restarts, and you can't afford to slip up right now either because the race depends on it.
Obviously, Chase learned a lot last week because he had 2 restarts that he didn't do well on, and he got it together this week.
Keep an eye on that 16 of Ryan Truex, too. Those guys be side by side through 1 and 2. He could get a run off of turn 2, getting into turn 3. Remember, a little fresher tires on that 16 truck of Ryan Truex.
This could decide the race. There will be 2 to go when they take the green. Chase Briscoe looking for his first career win on the inside of that 29 truck.
Great restart.
He may have them cleared by the time they get to turn 1.
Bell not giving up, digging on the outside.
Little side draft.
He's going to pinch him down just like Chase was doing him.
Side by side, Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell. Maybe even touch there going into 3. Oh, Briscoe gets loose. Austin Wayne Self around. Heavy contact with the 99 of Peters up and over. Austin Wayne Self in the 22, and that upside down 99 is Timothy Peters in that truck for the very first time this season.
Timothy was giving that truck such a great ride.
Yeah,
looks like
windows net's loose.
See the fluid coming out of that truck.
Fortunately, there were no abrupt hits for Timothy, so I'm going to say he's pretty okay.
Look at the damage to that truck. It's amazing how much damage the grass causes on the front stretches of these racetracks.
Well, he got sideways and it ripped the right front off, and that's what dug in. You see all the grass on the right front of the truck. And that's what got it flipping over.
Immediately trying to contain the fluids as the crew members or the safety crew members go to work and communicating with Timothy Peters. Under red, they've stopped all the trucks over in turn 3.
There's Austin Wayne Self
being assisted to the ambulance. He'll be taken to the medical center.
Austin Wayne had such a good run going as well. Been up in the top 10 here in the latter part of this race.
Ever been in a situation like this where you've been upside down and in a position that Timothy is in right here?
Well, I've only been upside down one time, and that was at Talladega a number of years ago. And fortunately, the car was on fire, so I crawled out under my own power. And once I got out, then a couple guys. One was a photographer that actually dragged me away from the car. It wasn't a big fire, but that's the only time I've ever been upside down.
Knock on wood, fortunately, I've never been upside down.
Because as you hang there, it's got to be, presuming that everything would be okay, even just hanging there is an uncomfortable position in which to be in. I know in visiting with A.J. Allmendinger about a similar situation that he was in earlier in this season in the Cup Series, hanging upside down in the car at that time, and how you're just waiting to
they're
be extracted from the vehicle.
They're getting ready to turn that truck back over. You see them put some straps on it. They will pull that truck back over. They practice doing this.
And again, the good sign that Timothy had released the window net, which alerts us to the fact that he's certainly aware of what's happening and what's going on, but because of the gravity, you couldn't really tell that the window net was down. It was actually hanging. So now they want to be very gentle about turning this truck back right side over.
Yeah, Timothy's just staying in the truck to get it turned over.
So they're bringing the trucks back around, and they will come down across the start-finish line and signify the end of the race as they take the checkered flag under yellow. And Christopher Bell will win for the 4th time in his career.
And ironically, he passed Chase exactly how Chase passed him.
Side by side on the restart, but I know that's not the way Bell wanted to win it.
No, that's for sure. Remember, they got to the start-finish line to take the white flag.
So they had taken the white flag.
Came out, and that's why this race is official.
Yep.
You have to maintain caution speed, which obviously they did. So that's why Christopher Bell is declared our winner. And Todd, you said it exactly right. Chase Briscoe got the lead from Christopher Bell on a restart, and Christopher got it back on a restart.
You know, we see it a lot on these mile and a halves with these trucks. Outside lane has momentum. And that's exactly how they passed each other coming off of 4. That outside had a little momentum and got him to the front.
And Buddy Cisco not pleased with why his driver, the 29 of Chase Briscoe, is going to end up in 2nd place tonight. Apologize for any language that you may have heard come across the airwaves. And you saw Buddy Cisco congratulating his pit crew for a job well done, and that is certainly the case. But because Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe had crossed the line to take the white flag, and here you see it, the white right there, and the race is determined by that amount as they pass the scoring loop. And then the yellow flag will come out. You see the lights on the fence signifying that the caution is out. So they go back and they look at the video and who was leading.
Yeah, whatever video is available, they will determine that to determine finishing positions. Not previously to determine, as we see Timothy sitting in there as they turn that truck back over.
Look at the dirt and the earth attached to that truck as they turn him right side over. Wow, what a great view.
That's a great view right there.
And to see Timothy Peters be able to take off that wheel, unplug the helmet, and he'll climb out to a great round of applause for what he just endured.
Much appreciated by the crowd.
Had a great run going. Fast all night.
And thank you to NASCAR and these truck builders that Timothy can just jump out of that thing and walk away.
I was going to say, he's not going to victory lane, but maybe the biggest winner of the night right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, a tough finish for Timothy Peters and a tough finish for Chase Briscoe as well, to have given it what he gave all night long and for it to come down to this at the finish. There's the replay of the accident that brought out the final caution in the wild ride endured by Timothy Peters.
It looked like the 22 of Austin Wayself just got a little bit loose on exit of turn number 4, got into Johnny Sauter. Watch him get loose on the bottom, gets into Johnny a little bit, turns him sideways. Ben Rhodes able to get by. Timothy commits to the bottom. Austin Wayne comes down there. Wild ride for Timothy. Well, Timothy just really didn't even have any choice but to go to the bottom, did he?
No, that normally Austin would have probably come back up the racetrack after that, and he didn't.
How about the view from Matt Crafton? And this is Timothy Peters. Watch this ride.
Wow.
And the finish, remember when this was to take the white, and then when the yellow comes out, the race is over, and you go to the video evidence of which vehicle happened to be in the lead. And Christopher Bell is in victory lane with Hermie Sadler. Hermie?
What a wild night it's been for Christopher Bell here tonight at Texas. He starts 21st. He drives to the front, then withstands a tremendous effort from Chase Briscoe. What a day it's been for you guys. You start 21st, you drive to the front. Ultimately, the race came down to a series of restarts with you and Chase Briscoe. What an effort he put up, but what made the difference for you to snag this victory?
Man, it's just all aero. First off, I want to make sure everyone's okay. It's kind of a sorrow victory here in victory lane. That was a pretty bad flip, and I've taken my fair share of flips, and it hurts a lot worse whenever it's in the grass like that one was. So I hope he's okay, man. That's the most important part. But second of all, we're in victory lane, so it's just a dream come true to be able to win here in Texas, my hometown. All of the Tundras are built right here in Texas, so it's a huge win for us, everybody at Toyota and Toyota Racing Development. Man, our JBL Tundra was super, super good.
Austin Wayne Self walked away. Timothy Peters also walked away from that accident, so that's good news. Last week at Dover, you had your first adversity of this season. What does it say about you and your team, how you're able to come back from that and get a victory?
Well, it's huge. We've been so fast throughout the entire year. All of our partners have done such a great job bringing really fast cars. Our Routing Manufacturing chassis and everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing Engines, they just work so hard to bring really fast Tundras to the racetrack, and I'm the lucky one that gets to drive them.
That's Christopher Bell. He goes from 21st to 1st here at Texas.
And he mentioned his hometown. He's from Norman, Oklahoma. Certainly his home track, the closest of the track. The white flag waves.
Obviously, the 4 truck of Christopher Bell is ahead right now.
And then you got to wait until you see the caution light come on.
The 29 is gaining momentum. Looks like right now they're dead even. Looks like the rear bumper of the 29 truck is ahead of the 4 truck when we see the caution lights. Now, maybe there's a delay when the caution lights, but when they flip the switch in the tower to turn on the caution, that's the moment that race would end. Now, we have to be told from NASCAR if there was a delay, because to me, looking at the rear bumpers of those 2 trucks, it looks to me like the 29 truck is a few inches ahead of the 4.
And in these situations, we're told that NASCAR, by their system to determine the winners, they look at the video evidence that would indicate to them which driver happens to be in front. Now let's check in with Alan.
And here with Chase Briscoe, we just watched the video together. There was confusion after the race. After watching that video, is anything more cleared up for you?
It was close. I know that much. You know, it was a fun race. It was awesome racing with Christopher. Me and Bell are really good friends. We've literally known each other for the past 6-7 years and always racing. So it was fun to put on a show with him. I know that I enjoyed it. I hope the fans enjoyed it. But just overall, definitely wanted to get the win. Just tough way, but we're going to St. Louis next weekend and see if we can get the Cooper Standard Ford F-150 finally in Victory Lane.
You still got to smile. How do you smile after that? Because you had it, man.
I mean, I was sleeping on couches 2 years ago. Never even pictured I was going to have a ride. So just be full time with Brad Keselowski Racing and signed by Ford Development. It's just it's a blessing. So just thankful to be here and going to the next one.
And just tell me about Buddy Cisco. There was no better cheerleader on your radio than him tonight. What was it like working with him?
Yeah, obviously it's unfortunate that Hillman's not here, but Buddy did a heck of a job. He definitely likes to get you up on the wheel, and he's definitely cheerleading us along the way. But I mean, I feel really comfortable and confident as can be going into these next 3 races without Hillman. And if we can keep doing finishes like that, that's what we need to do.
Harder to get any closer than that and not get the victory, Vince.
I loved his attitude about it, though. 2 years ago, I was sleeping on a couch. Second place, even under these circumstances, in the big perspective of it all. It's pretty appropriate, I think, mindset for Chase Briscoe to carry.
It really is. Kerry Shear and Briggs Cunningham gave him an opportunity to run the ARCA Series. He dominated that series with 6 wins in the championship. Brad Keselowski saw something in him, put him in this truck, and he's going to win a lot of races, I believe.
Well, Johnny Sauter still leads in the point standings, but Christopher Bell with the 2 wins certainly keeps Christopher most pleased. But remember, if you are the points champion at the end of the race, you get 15 playoff points moving forward, and that is huge. The racing continues tomorrow. The Xfinity Series on Fox, 12:30 Eastern. Remember, drivers, current Cup drivers in all the announced positions tomorrow at 12:30. Won't want to miss that. The Monster Energy Cup Series racing on Sunday from Pocono. Next week for us, we're at Gateway in St. Louis. Camping World Truck Series qualifying next Saturday night. The setup show, and we'll go racing next Saturday at 8:30 Eastern. NHRA qualifying from Englishtown is up next right here on FS1. Congratulations to Christopher Bell. 2nd win of the season for Bell.